In today's story, we get the first ever recorded duel that shows off one very golden rule. When it comes to the show's main protagonist, you never, ever take the maxi challenge.
Funny.
Get ready to deck out all my fellow Pitch Outlaws. This is Card Games vs. Humanity, and I am that NKK Double G. Back with another recap of Duel Monsters, the game where screwing the rules is basically a necessity at this point. So if you enjoyed, don't forget that sub, that bell, that comment, hit up that like, and hit up the Patreon if you want to support me. Oh, and of course, leave a comment telling me if you thought shit.
Oh my god, so beautiful. So gorgeous. Hey, you saw nothing. Get out of here. Come on.
Okay, who programmed this thing? Wow, not sure where that came from, but let's get back to our duel, shall we? One that begins exactly as it should. With Kaiba constantly berating and belittling Yugi until he learns what to do properly. It's Yugi's turn and he knows he has nothing to combat the powerful piece of pie. Drawing Monster Reborn and summoning Big Shield Garda to the field in defense mode to protect himself. This automatically triggers Slifer's second mouth, reducing the poor guy's defense down to a measly 600. Not really accomplishing anything in the process, but it's enough to make Mokuba really scared.
He better last long enough for me to learn Slifer the Sky Dragon's weakness so I can defeat it later.
Yes, that's right, Yugi. I'm the best duelist in the world, but I need you to figure this out because I can't, because I'm the best duelist in the world. And I swear to God, if you can't, Yugi, if you can't. When Merrick draws, Mokuba sees that his attack power goes up to 11,000, saying that he can get as strong as he wants thanks to infinite cards. This lofty piece of information regarding deck size limits makes Kaiba super horny when he realizes that that's the key to Slifer's power. Realizing its weakness before it launches an attack on Big Shield Garda and wiping it from the field. Yugi monologues to himself about the exact same thing about 2 minutes later and then figures out the weakness for himself.
About time.
Bro, it was less than 2 minutes later that he figured it out. You need to get laid. Yugi claims that if all his own monsters are too weak, then he must use his own monster's power against them. And all I can say is if he tried applying that logic to modern Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah, I wouldn't do that. Gaslighting Merrick that maybe he doesn't know as much about the Egyptian gods as he may think. Pushing his heart of the cheater to full strength, he draws his next card.
But that's only half the battle. This strategy requires perfect timing.
What are you talking about? This isn't a game where if you don't flip up the card fast enough, it doesn't take effect. Almost like the entire system of Yu-Gi-Oh requires being able to respond to cards. But nope, sorry, if you take longer than half a second to activate your card, it doesn't count. No chaining allowed. Yugi activates Monster Reborn, bringing back the mighty Buster Blader to the field, and what's this? Attack mode? That's a big deal. One more attack and the duel is already over. Oh, by the way, card of safe return allows me to draw 3 cards even when you revive a monster on your side of the field. Like, fuck Slifer, I'd even argue fuck Revival Jam. That one card alone makes this entire duel just like, really, bro? With Slifer's attack now over 11,000 and Buster Blader weakened by his second mouth, Eric is confident that on the next turn, the end of this duel is coming. Unfortunately for him, Yugi's in full power sass mode and claims that there isn't going to be a next turn before launching an attack with Buster Blader. Actually, Revival Gem kicks in and stops the attack, forcing Strings to draw 3 more cards in the process. Which apparently is now the perfect time to activate Brain Control, because why? I mean, it wouldn't have changed the end result at all. It would have taken like 2 more Revivals. If anything, this convoluted path definitely took longer. Mokuba says that the dragon is way too powerful to be controlled by a simple magic card, but to everyone's surprise, Yugi is taking the Revival Jam instead, something he could have just done from the start. Even though Merrick really wants to skip his turn and attack, Striker's mouth is forced to strike the gooey substance every time it reforms itself on Yugi's side of the field, forcing him to draw another 3 cards in a never-ending cycle. In the middle of all this, though, Merrick takes 1 second to read off Google's definition of marriage.
There's no way out!
Strings drops all his cards like a frickin' noob. Seriously, get some sleeves on that shit. Yugi has seemed to do the impossible and turn his own Egyptian what against him. And if only he had a single magic negation card in his entire deck and, oh, I don't know, set 1 card out of the 11,000 cards he had in his hand last turn, just 1? You're telling me he didn't have 1?
A card, a much more powerful one!
Tiny little legs. On a gigantic dragon. Just tiny little legs. Despite losing to the Maxi Challenge, Merrick claims that he still has another Egyptian god card in his hand still. A far stronger one with more bullshit effects that he'll never be able to contend with. I can't wait for their 112th duel at the end of the season. Mokuba immediately runs up to this crackhead, demanding Slifer to hand over to Yugi for winning the duel. Unfortunately, it's been several hours since this last fix, so he doesn't seem capable of responding properly.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself, mister. It's just a game.
It's not just a game. This incredibly valuable one-of-a-kind card is just lying on the ground, PSA value ruined, as Mokuba takes both it and the locator card to hand them over to Yugi. Pay no attention to this guy's health or if he's even still breathing. Card games come first. Naturally, after his victory against someone who's trying to rule the world, Kaiba congratulates on a job well done before immediately challenging him to another duel because he just really wants that Slifer card. Push it, the bath salts kick in and String magically wakes up, startling our heroes as Merrick claims he's on his way to Battle City. Being a proper generic Season 2 villain, I love that he takes the time to explain every single step that he's going to do to the protagonist of the show, as well as the commissioner of the tournament that's standing right there. I mean, he has billions of dollars. He probably could hire a small army if he really wanted to stop stop you?
I see a defenseless city waiting to be conquered.
First of all, the vast majority of the people in this city have no idea what duel monsters are, or let alone the intricacies of this tournament. Eventually, you're gonna get overpowered by people who don't give a shit if you're holding a trading card in your hand or not. Even in Merrick's short montage of the rare hunter spying on Yugi's friend, they still take time for his friends to make fun of Joey for not finishing the duel against Kaiba last episode. I gotta love the consistency. Knowing deep down his true love for Yugi, Merrick accidentally slips up and admits what he hopes to say one day while looking deep into Yugi's eyes.
Well, it appears I've hit your sensitive spot, haven't I, Pharaoh?
Much like Ike, Yugi fights for his friends, and threatening them is something you just do not do. Remember that permanent marker smiley face they made in episode 1? Yeah, that's just for life. Merrick claims that these friends mean nothing to him, and he has nothing to lose by trying every tactic he has to gain the power he believes he deserves. I just wish they didn't have to talk about it for 10 minutes after every fucking duel they have together. Strings finally falls to his feet like the healthy individual that he is, causing Yugi to take off immediately to try and save his friends that won't be in danger for about 2 to 3 more episodes.
Running away from a challenge is against tournament rules.
Even if people actually follow the rules in this tournament, it takes a certain level of selfishness to watch a possessed man threaten the lives of both him and Yugi's friends and then be pissed off because he'd rather go save them than have a children's card game instead. The episode ends with Merrick finally arriving at Battle City and riding a motorcycle looking nearly half as cool as Tristan. Nearly half. Well, that's it for this week's episode. I want to thank you all for watching, and of course a shout out to all my patrons. If you just find yourself sitting there after this episode thinking, just tiny little legs. You had a huge body, but just tiny little legs. I'm right there with you. This has been the man from Earth with all the growth, ladies and gentlemen. Be the character you know you're worth. See you all on Monday. Later. Yugi monologues him to him. Knowing deep down his true love for Yugi. Yo. I just wish they didn't have to talk about it for 10 minutes after every fucking duel they have there. I just wish that... Can you guys fuck off?